We are grateful too. I would like to express our appreciation to the two distinguished debaters, Yang Amat Muhammad Lim Guan Eng and Yang Berbahagia Dr. Sri Dr. Chua Soi Lek, for once again accepting this invitation to the public debate. This round two follows from the debate held earlier in Mandarin in February. The political courage of both Dr. Sri, Dr. Chua, and Chief Minister Lim enhances what perhaps can be a new political culture in Malaysia of having open debates on issues and policies and not on personalities. It is the policies of the respective parties that are important for the voting public to choose and decide who to vote for in the coming elections. Politics in Malaysia should be more issues-driven. Politics based on personalities is old politics. Hence, this debate will hopefully push forward this new political culture of open debate on issues. Before we commence, let me state some ground rules and explain the process of the debate. Each of the two debaters will be given 10 minutes to make their introductory remarks. I would like to urge all participants to be respectful of both debaters when they are making their presentations. Please do not be unruly and do not jeer the debaters. Allow them to put forward their views and opinions without interruption from the floor. The debate will commence with the drawing of lots to determine who shall be the first debater and who shall be the second. At the end of the debate, the debaters will have another 10 to 12 minutes each to sum up and make their closing remarks. There will be 3 sets of questions that will be asked. The first set of questions will be put forward from me as moderator to each of the 2 debaters. The second set of questions will be from the 3 panelists who will each ask the debater a question. The 3 panelists are Yang Muhammad Dr. Sri Chor Chiu Hyong, Vice President of MCA and Minister of Housing and Local Government, Encik Wan Hamidi B1 Hamid, Editor of Rocket Kini, representing the DAP, and Professor James Chin of Monash University being the independent panelists. After that, we shall have the third set of questions from the floor. All participants are given a card each to write your questions, and these questions are to be dropped into the box here provided for you. Each debater will draw the questions from the floor, from the box containing the questions from the floor to reply. We hope that the proceedings will be smooth and orderly. I wish to also inform that there will be a very short comfort break for the 2 debaters after the first set of questions. We shall now proceed to the drawing of lots by the debaters, and let me, on behalf of all of you, wish both of them well and good luck. Yang Amat Muhammad Lim Guan Eng has drawn the lot to be the first debater. Let me now hand the floor over to YAB Lim Guan Eng for the introductory 10-minute remarks. YAB Lim.
CEO of ASLI, Tan Sri Michael Yeo, my learned opponent, ladies and gentlemen, salam bersih kepada semua. Kita berkumpul di sini untuk menentukan dasar parti manakah yang boleh memberi manfaat kepada rakyat Malaysia. Seharusnya satu perbahasan harus diadakan di antara Perdana Menteri Dato' Sri Najib Tun Razak dengan Ketua Pembangkang Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim. Malangnya Dato' Sri Najib ingin berbahas dengan Anwar. Adakah keinginan Najib berbahas dengan Anwar kerana beliau bimbang selepas perbahasan rakyat Malaysia akan menentukan bahawa Anwar lebih layak untuk menjadi Perdana Menteri daripada Najib. In fact, MCA is not qualified to talk about policies here, because MCA does not decide. It is UMNO that decides. MCA claims to speak only for the Chinese, and that only in Peninsular Malaysia, not the Chinese from Sabah and Sarawak. This is different from DAP. We want to speak for all Malaysians. DAP mau bersuara untuk Melayu, Cina, India, Iban dan Kadazan kerana kita semua rakyat Malaysia. Bukan macam MCA yang kononnya hanya mewakili orang Cina. Mengapa kita harus dipecah belahkan mengikut kaum dan agama? Ini adalah kejayaan terbesar UMNO. Supaya kita takut satu sama lain. Supaya Barisan Nasional boleh terus merompak harta dan kekayaan rakyat Malaysia. Tengoklah skandal lembu dan kondom. Pakcik yang ternak lembu sepanjang umur tak dapat pinjaman berjuta-juta ringgit. Tetapi keluarga menteri boleh dapat 250 juta ringgit. Sungguh pun tak pernah ternak seekor lembu pun. Jangan-jangan nanti kita lihat 250 juta ringgit untuk ternak lembu, pergi beli kondominium pula. Sampai mungkin satu hari nanti orang Singapura yang ada banyak kondo di Singapura mungkin nak datang ke Malaysia belajar macam mana ternak lembu di kondominium. Skandal PKFZ sebanyak 12.5 bilion ringgit melibatkan pemimpin tertinggi MCA, tetapi ahli politik yang aktif tidak dibawa ke mahkamah. Semua skandal MCA tidak bersuara. Seperti mana yang ditulis dalam buku Lee Hwa Beng, PKFZ, A Nation's Trust Betrayed. Ini bekas adun MCA, sendiri hantam MCA. 12.5 bilion telah hilang. MCA terus sokong buta saja. Kedudukan Malaysia dalam Transparency International, kita lihat dalam 2003 tangga ke-37. Sekarang telah jatuh ke tangga 60. Kalau Barisan Nasional terus menang, saya rasa kita akan pecah tangga 100 lah. Kita harus bersatu padu sebagai anak Malaysia. Kalau kita terus dipecah belakang, siapa untung? Hanya kroni-kroni BN yang untung. Yang rugi ialah anak Malaysia. Kita harus bersatu padu supaya kita sama-sama dapat menikmati harta dan kekayaan Malaysia. Jangan kita terus dipecah belakang bahawa pemimpin Melayu baru boleh jaga orang Melayu, pemimpin Cina hanya boleh jaga orang Cina. Tibalah masa bahawa pemimpin Malaysia tak kira apa kaum, kita mesti jaga satu sama lain. For the last 50 years, we have been consumed by race and religion. For the next 50 years, let us be consumed by the task of improving the economic well-being and protecting the civil and political rights of all Malaysians. We have many problems in our country that needs to be addressed. But the biggest problem of all is the problem of corruption that results in abuse of power, low wages, and ever-rising cost of living. BN has never spoken truthfully to the people. Let Pakatan Rakyat speak truthfully to you. DAP believes that a clean government can always perform better than a corrupt government. DAP believes that a clean government requires open competitive tenders, full disclosure of contracts between the government and the private sector, freedom of information, and the public declaration of assets by prime ministers, ministers, and chief ministers. If Penang dares to reveal the assets of the chief minister, why is the prime minister afraid of revealing his assets and the assets of his ministers? Does Barisan Nasional dare not declare your assets because you have too many assets to hide, or got too many car numbers to hide? Kejayaan sebuah kerajaan terselah di kerajaan negeri-negeri Pakatan Rakyat. Di Pulau Pinang, kita mencatatkan lebihan bajet setiap tahun. Dan kejayaan ini dicapai sungguhpun perbelanjaan telah dinaikkan 55%. Kita buat jalan, kita buat longkang, kita buat rumah mampu milik, dan kita buat taman hijau. Tetapi kita masih boleh catat lebihan bajet yang terbesar dalam sejarah Pulau Pinang. Berbanding dengan hutang kerajaan persekutuan yang naik ke 470 bilion pada 31 Mac 2012. Beban hutang kerajaan negeri telah diturunkan. Daripada 630 juta ringgit, kita telah kurangkan sebanyak 600 juta ringgit, tinggal hanya 30 juta ringgit saja. Di bawah Barisan Nasional, hutang naik. Di bawah Pakatan Rakyat, hutang pasti akan turun. Dan kejayaan ini membolehkan kita buat bantuan sosial, bantu sama warga emas, ibu bapa yang lahirkan anak, OKU, ibu tunggal, dan juga pelajar-pelajar di sekolah rendah dan menengah. Yang pada masa yang sama, sekolah-sekolah semua aliran, baik sekolah Cina, sekolah Tamil, semua dapat peruntukan setiap tahun. Tiap-tiap tahun dapat. Bukan macam Barisan Nasional 5 tahun sekali. Atau BRIM RM500 50 tahun sekali. Dan sepatutnya bagi kepada keluarga miskin, sampai Dato' MCA daripada Pahang pun boleh dapat RM500. Pulau Pinang merupakan negeri pertama yang hapuskan miskin tegak, dan kita akan menjadi negeri pertama yang menghapuskan kemiskinan sama sekali pada 2015. Pulau Pinang juga merupakan negeri pertama yang memberikan wifi percuma kepada rakyat di tempat-tempat awam di Pulau Pinang. Ini semua berlaku kerana kerajaan yang bersih di Pulau Pinang. Saya nak bercakap kepada kawan-kawan Melayu, apabila kita lancarkan tender terbuka, UMNO sebut bahawa kontraktor Melayu akan terbinggir. Mereka tak akan dapat kontrak. Tetapi bila kita jalankan tender terbuka, nyata 70% dimenangi oleh kontraktor Melayu. Ini menunjukkan bahawa kontraktor Melayu memang berdaya saing. Yang tak guna langsung ialah kontraktor UMNO dan Barisan Nasional. The DAP believes that the policies of our party and Pakatan Rakyat represents the future of our children, whereas the policies of MCA and Barisan Nasional represents the past. No longer can we accept the culture of corruption and cronyism. Let us take back our rights. Let us take back our rights back from Barisan Nasional cronies by abolishing the North-South highway tolls and removing subsidies to the independent power producers. And let us make sure that we return the right to the people of Malaysia. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chief Minister. May I now invite the MCA President to deliver his introductory remarks.
Selamat sejahtera, salam bahagia dan salam satu Malaysia. Tan Sri Moderator, distinguished members of the panel, the Honourable Chief Minister of Penang, ladies and gentlemen. Tadi Yang Amat Berhormat mengatakan apa sebab Perdana Menteri tak tampil berdebat dengan Datuk Seri Anwar. Saya nak mengatakan di sini, kita tidak menggalak Datuk Seri Najib berdebat dengan Anwar sebab beliau adalah Perdana Menteri dan semenjak mengambil pucuk pimpinan 3 tahun dahulu, beliau telah membuktikan melalui program transformasi kita dapat menampak dengan jelasnya hasil-hasil transformasi ini. Daya persaingan telah meningkat daripada tangga 28 ke 21. The ease of doing business daripada 23 kepada 18. Dan ke belakang ini kita telah diiktiraf the 5th most favoured FDI nation in Asia. Dan kita tepati segala janji, bukanlah janji-janji kosong daripada Pakatan Rakyat. Sebab itu kita berani melancarkan janji ditepati. So dalam 3 tahun ini rakyat dapat menilai apa yang dilakukan oleh Barisan Nasional di bawah pimpinan Datuk Seri Mohamad Najib. Anwar seharusnya debate dengan semua orang kerana kita tak tahu apa dia akan lakukan. Kerana sehingga hari ini Pakatan hanya melakukan apa yang dikatakan dalam bahasa English, full of rhetoric, no specific, short on delivery. So Anwar got to convince us to translate this rhetoric into what we call delivery. MCA got no right to talk about policy. May I remind, ladies and gentlemen, MCA has been involved in nation building from day one. We were the one who were involved in the fight against the communist insurgency, the resettlement of the Chinese in new villages, the fight for independence, the right of citizenship after independence by birth. That's why Lim Guan Eng and Lim Guan Eng are citizens of this country. We lay down the foundation of Malays, Chinese and Indian working together to make sure that this nation work and progress. And we have progressed. We advocated interaction and integration, not assimilation. That's why Lim Guan Eng is not called Sukarno Lim. These are history. Of course you say it's history, but it's all part of nation building, of which DAP has no role to play. Barisan Nasional has unveiled the socio-economic transformation program of Malaysia to make sure that we achieve a high-income nation, greater prosperity, and better quality of life for all by 2020. What has Pakatan Rakyat tell us? There is no clear direction for growth. That's what I say, full of rhetorics, full of promises. And if you look at all the 4 Pakatan Rakyat states, 95% of the promise is janji kosong. Every day you tell the whole world that you give $100 to the old people. Hey, MCA also gave $100 to our members. You say that you give $200 to the newborn. And they must be voters. MCA say we give $200 also to our newborn babies. Hey, state government giving $100 and $200. These are all populist policy. It does not address the fundamental problem of this country. And the fundamental problem of this country requires a social, a political, and economic transformation program, of which we are all well acquainted. And when you talk about education, I would say DAP has nothing to show. Through MCA, we established Tunggal Rahman College, University Tunggal Rahman. We have trained 200,000 graduates of all races, including a significant number of DAP leader and past. We may be a political party, but we are proud that we take care of 45,000 students of all races, providing affordable, accessible, and quality tertiary education. On mother tongue education, we have been very consistent. We promote mother tongue education in the context of a multiracial country. DAP role is very simple. They just incite all the Chinese to hate and suspicious of the government and MCA. That under Barisan Nasional, all the mother tongue education is marginalized. It is a sellout by MCA. And that is all they do. What they practice is what we call hate and blame politics. And we are proud that all the initiatives we have, education, welfare, poverty eradication, in the last 1.5 years, the One MCA Medical Foundation, whereby we have disbursed more than 7.6 million, benefiting 1,200 patients of all races. And these are all due to public donation. DAP has nothing to show. DAP has only one thing to show. They collect a lot of money from the Rakyat. And despite your call of accountability, transparency, and nothing to show. Transparency, accountancy, where are they? No, where have all the money you have collected gone to? There is a grinding need for transparency and accountability of where your public money has gone to. Maybe DAP believe in the what we call money power, so that you can have political power.
1 more minute.
May I suggest, Honorable Chief Minister, please start a kindergarten in Penang to help the poor. Ladies and gentlemen, please do not be misled. There is no low-cost house built by the state government from 2008 to 2010. These do not come from Chua Soi Lek. These come from the Auditor General report of 2010. No low-cost house, ladies and gentlemen. As to a series of allegations, I shall reply one by one during my what we call summation, so that all of us can leave this room convinced that DAP is just a camouflage for a Chinese chauvinist party.
President, the time is up. I would like to now pose the first question to the President of MCA and the second question to the Chief Minister of Penang. Firstly, to the MCA President. Mr. President, you have stated a number of major achievements of the MCA and that the MCA have contributed to nation building. You have argued that the MCA's policies have now been integrated into government policies. Yet today, there are among many urban voters that there is a perception that the MCA has not done enough. There is the perception that many urban voters today are not supporting the MCA. So what would you do to try to regain more support for the MCA?
Thank you, Tan Sri. We accept the fact that this is a multiracial country. And the practice of Barisan Nasional is called the policy of balancing. Balancing the needs, the sensitivity, and the expectation of all races. DAP likes to tell the Chinese that they are marginalized. But let's be fair. If you look at the statistics of this country, the household income of the Chinese is still the highest compared to the Malays and Indians. The poverty rate of the Chinese is still the lowest in this country among the three major races. The unemployment is still the lowest among the Chinese. In terms of property ownership, we are still the highest for housing, for industrial estates, and for even hotels and hospitality. But we cannot deny that in the implementation process, there are people who benefit more than others. And this is the bone of contention. And this causes a lot of Chinese to be angry with the government. And MCA bears the burden of this. And to aggravate this, DAP is good in inciting the Chinese that MCAs sell out and do not take care of Chinese. But DAP at the same time would try to package itself as a multiracial party. But it only dared to contest in Chinese majority constituency. If you are so multiracial, why don't you go to a multiracial constituency? MCA may be a mono-ethnic party, but our party constitution is very clear to protect the legitimate interests and the right of all people in accordance to the Malaysian constitution. So in this country, we have to balance the needs and the sensitivity of all races. No particular race will feel happy. In the same way, we sometimes feel that the government is giving too much to the Bumiputra. But at the same time, there are also a lot of Bumiputra who are not happy with the government. So this is the politics of balancing, and we believe that it is accommodation and not confrontation that we can achieve our objective.
Chief Minister, you have so eloquently stated earlier in your presentation that the DAP is a multiracial party. And you have argued that your policies are national, broad-based policies. But yet, I think the reality is that down on the ground, many people still see the DAP as a Chinese party, as a Chinese-based party. So are you a Chinese party or are you a multiracial party? And how would you try to win more support from among non-Chinese for the DAP if you are a multiracial party?
Thank you, Tan Sri. DAP from its very inception is a multiracial party. We have a multiracial leadership. Our chairman is an Indian. We have Indian MPs. We also had Malay MPs and state assemblymen in the past. Dan kalau kita lihat daripada dasar-dasar ini dilaksanakan oleh DAP dan Pakatan Rakyat, ia memang bertindak adil kepada semua tanpa kira kaum dan agama. Tetapi kita tidak boleh nafikan bahawa UMNO begitu berjaya untuk memomokkan kaum Melayu bahawa DAP anti Melayu, anti Islam. Sungguh pun saya masuk penjara untuk keluarga Melayu. Mereka cakap saya anti Melayu. Sungguh pun kita tambahkan peruntukan untuk hal ewa Islam sebanyak 3 kali ganda. Dia masih cakap kita anti Islam. Yang penting ialah lihat apa yang kita laksanakan. Daripada asal kita berbilang kaum. Dan kita mahu menjadi parti Malaysia. Bukan macam parti-parti macam UMNO dan MCA. Dia hanya nak mewakili satu kaum. Lepas dia pula cakap satu Malaysia. Nak tipu siapa? Sebenarnya apa yang mereka nak buat ialah untuk pecah belahkan rakyat. Supaya mereka boleh terus buat rasuah. Bukan satu Malaysia, sapu Malaysia. I would like to let the MCA president know that not every Chinese is as rich as the MCA leaders. Not every Chinese can apply for PR in Australia. Don't forget that the Chinese community pays the most taxes in Malaysia. But at the same time, we want to see justice. We want to ensure our Malay brothers and sisters are assisted. Why is it a poor Chinese cannot get scholarships, whereas the rich Bumi Putra can get scholarships? This is something that we must correct. At the same time, when we talk about Scandals and corruption affect all races. Malay, Chinese, Indians, Kadazan, Ibans. Macam skandal saham 52 bilion yang harus dibagikan kepada orang Melayu dan Bumi Putra. Saham-saham ini sudah hilang. Tapi tanya kawan-kawan Melayu, mana pergi saham? Adakah mereka dapat satu saham? Mereka semua cakap tak ada. Semua diangkat oleh kroni-kroni UMNO dan Barisan Nasional. 52 bilion ringgit. Apa sudah jadi? Minta Barisan Nasional adakan Suruhanjaya Siasatan Diraja, mereka tak berani. Mengapa? Mereka nak tutup semua sekali. Don't go and talk about DAP forming a kindergarten. Come on. We are a political party to determine the future of Malaysia, not to form kindergartens. Tar College is the clearest example of the failure of MCA. Why was Tar College established? Because of the unfair quota policies. Qualified students cannot enter into universities. And that's why, as a consolation, you formed Tar College. Shame on you, MCA. I would like to state this. Jangan cakap kita tak bina rumah kos rendah di Pulau Pinang. Kita ada bina. Kita ada bina. Menerusi agensi pelaksana PDC, kita ada bina. Jangan cakap bohong di sini.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Debate 2.0. We will now proceed with the questions from our panelists. I would like to invite Encik Wan Hamidi to pose the first question to the MCA President. Encik Wan Hamidi, Editor of Rocket Kini.
Thank you. Datuk Seri, adakah MCA di dalam Barisan Nasional begitu takut dan tidak berani dengan UMNO sehingga kan isu-isu penyelewengan, salah guna kuasa dan sebagainya tidak berani ditegur sama sekali? Ataupun adakah wujud dalam Barisan Nasional konsep equal partner, atau ia hanya satu lesen satu Malaysia untuk membenarkan budaya samseng yang sedang berlaku sejak akhir-akhir ini, termasuk percubaan menyerang Ketua Menteri Pulau Pinang? Sekian, terima kasih.
Terima kasih. First, I take objection to the question. To say MCA takut dengan UMNO. That is not a fair question. If I say, and I've already said, if the state cabinet, state ESCO, and the federal cabinet, all the discussion are all taped, the government should declassify this tape. And when they classify this tape, then they understand better the role of MCA in a multiracial country. Let's take, for example, why is DAP so quiet about Anwar's alleged 20 account with 3 billion? Seniat saja. And this is not an allegation. This is from a statutory declaration, which the fellow can go to jail, you know. And why is a political secretary with 2004 has 30 million in asset and DAP is keeping quiet? We say, where got meaning? What else do you ask? That's about all. This is equal partnership. Let me tell you. Let me tell you, Pakatan Rakyat says equal partnership. Agree? But until today, PAS have never openly endorsed Anwar as the Prime Minister. You can't even agree on a party common symbol and a common logo and to register your party.
1 more minute left, President.
You can't even tell us your shadow cabinet. Where is the Pakatan? What is so difficult to tell us your shadow cabinet? What is so difficult to register your logo and your symbol? Or is that equal partnership? Is that equal partnership? When you want to answer, you can also draw on comparison so that you can understand better. And they say, shame on you because you started Keita. Is the Chief Minister suggesting that all the people who donated and supported Keita, shame to them, according to the Chief Minister of Penang? So multiracial, so many years in this country.
Mr. President, your time is up.
Why no Indian state chairman? Mana the Indian state chairman in DAP?
Stop. May I now invite Yang Berhormat Dr. Sri Chua Chi Hyong to pose the question to the Chief Minister of Penang.
Mr. Chief Minister, now when we talk about policies of DAP, definitely it includes policy of Pakatan. And I've read your buku jingga from cover to cover, where it is stated, among other things, that if PAS, Keadilan and DAP now wins the next general election and forms a central government, you are going to, inter alia, abolish all the road tolls, abolish PTPTN, you also wish to give household income with the income less than 4,000 to make up to 4,000 a month, and also a host of other goodies which will run into more than ringgit Malaysia 200 billion. Now, I just like to pose this question to the Chief Minister. How are you going to implement the above-mentioned policies, taking into consideration that Malaysia's annual income or revenue does not exceed 200 million? And savings from leakages and corruption, I've cross-checked, is only can yield a savings of 26 billion. So you don't need a rocket scientist to tell us that it is a physical impossibility unless Malaysia continues to generate more income, that is more another 100 million or so. Maybe you can tell us how you want to generate that, or is it just a simplistic ploy to get to get votes from the rakyat? And another thing is, just now you have not answered the question from the MCA president, that what happens to all the collections you have collected all these years from the public? Are you going to use this? Are you going to use this to fund the shortfall in the event that you come to Parliament and you want to fulfill all these promises? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Yang Berhormat Chua Chi Hyong, the Minister for Housing. First, I would like to say that this is the first time I hear from a minister admitting that corruption cost us 26 billion ringgit. The question is, what are you doing about it? Are you accepting the fact? Are you accepting the fact that BN permits corruption? That's why I say this. Shame on you again. You talk about collections from the public. DAP, unlike Barisan Nasional, when we organize dinners, we don't give free dinners like MCA or UMNO. We charge for the dinner 20 ringgit, 30 ringgit, because we depend on public funds to survive. We don't steal the government's money. That is the difference between Barisan Nasional and Pakatan Rakyat. That is the difference between DAP and MCA. You mentioned just now about the buku jingle. I think you got to read the right buku jingle. You must have read the wrong one lah. When we talk about abolishing tolls, we have given an estimate of around 35 billion. If you don't believe this can be done, vote us into power and we'll show you how it is done. When we gave money, bila kita bagi wang sama warga emas, kita bagi wang sama ibu bapa dan rakyat, orang cakap, oh tak boleh, kerajaan negeri akan bankrupt. Kerana kalau bagi wang macam ini, habis. Kerana dulu tak pernah bagi. Tetapi kita telah buktikan, seumpama pun kita bagi wang 90 juta ringgit sehingga sekarang, kerajaan negeri tak bankrupt. Sebaliknya, kerajaan negeri punya bajet lagi lama, lagi kuat. Oh. Dan bila saya cakap bahawa kita memang bersih, ini bukan saya cakap, ini dicakap oleh Transparency International. Puji sama kerajaan negeri Pulau Pinang. Pernahkah Malaysia dipuji oleh Transparency International? Tak pernah. Dan sekali lagi, janganlah buat fitnah. Ini tak bagus. Kalau cakap ada fitnah tentang Anwar, mengapa dia tak didakwa di mahkamah? SPRM dikuasai oleh Barisan Nasional. Sekali lagi, saya ingin tegaskan, dasar-dasar yang kita nak buat untuk rakyat adalah demi rakyat. Kita telah kira, kita memang mampu untuk memperkayakan rakyat Malaysia. Undi Pakatan Rakyat, pasti hidup lebih senang.
I would now like to invite our independent panelist, Professor James Chin, who will ask one question to be answered by both the debaters, the President of MCA and the DAP Secretary General. Professor Chin.
Thank you very much, Moderator. The new economic policy is the most important public policy in Malaysia's political history. It impacts on every facet of life in Malaysia. Since 1971, the Chinese community and the wider non-Malay community has felt that the NEP has restricted their opportunities, especially in the area of business and education opportunities. Can both of you tell us, the general public, how your side will deal with this issue and how will you deal with the NEP and its successor policies? Please be specific. Thank you.
Chief Minister.
Now the new dasar ekonomi baru, tidak ada seorang pun yang akan menentang dasar ekonomi baru yang mau menghapuskan kemiskinan dan juga memastikan keadilan dari segi pengagihan sosioekonomi. Dari aspek membasmi kemiskinan, ini adalah salah satu usaha yang dibuat oleh Pakatan Rakyat kerana kita tak mau sesiapa terpinggir daripada pembangunan ekonomi. Tapi yang masalahnya berlaku adalah ia digunakan oleh pemimpin-pemimpin Barisan Nasional dan UMNO untuk membuat mereka jadi sangat kaya. Dan oleh kerana rasuah, ini sekali lagi kita balik kepada rasuah, sangat teruk. Sampai kita anggarkan 100 bilion ringgit telah hilang kerana rasuah. Dan ini yang kita harus hapuskan. Kalau kita tak hapuskan rasuah, saya rasa rakyat akan rugi, orang miskin tetap miskin, yang kaya lagi kaya. So di sini, kita pada masa yang sama, kita mesti juga membina modal insan. We must stress on excellence. Do not think that the Malays cannot be good. The Malays can be good. It is the policies of Barisan Nasional that does not allow the people of Malaysia to excel. I have said this many times. It is also discrimination for UMNO to keep on telling the Malays that they can never excel just because they are Malays. They say that so that everyone can depend on UMNO. I think this is wrong. We must all prosper together. We must all excel together. Malaysia hanya boleh maju kalau kita dapat membentuk kecemerlangan untuk semua rakyat. Di Pulau Pinang kita telah buktikan kontraktor Melayu boleh berdaya saing. Mengapa tidak di seluruh Malaysia? Kontraktor Barisan Nasional yang jahat, mereka mesti dihapuskan. Sekian, terima kasih.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Chief Minister says DAP is multiracial. But every time he says something, he say, why Chinese cannot get scholarship? If you are multiracial, don't just talk about Chinese, talk about all Malaysian. When you talk about the new economic policy, there is no denying that we have succeeded in reducing poverty in this country, irrespective of race, from 50% to 3.5%. It's a question of restructuring of society so that no community or ethnic race is identified with economic activities. We have also achieved certain success. No non-Malays dare to say that all of us have not benefited from the new economic policy. We have to be fair. But along the way, I agree, it has been hijacked. That I agree. But knowing the problem is one thing. And that's the reason why Dato Sri Najib says the implementation of policy should be based on needs and merits. And the socially disadvantaged and the economically disadvantaged should be given help. Let's be fair. You don't expect the people in Sarawak, the native in Sabah, to compete with people in the Klang Valley. No way they can compete. That's the reason why we need to extend a help to them. That is what we call a Barisan National policy of equity for all races. As to corruption, corruption cannot just depend on the government. It needs the society's help. And the government has improved the Whistleblowing Act, the Integrity Pact, that you must be part of the Integrity Pact if you want to tender for certain project. And then you have the Corruption Court. Then you have the net to shame all those people. But the question is, why in some Pakatan Rakyat there are cases of corruption? Why are they swept under the carpet? Why is the 1 billion land scandal in Selangor, DAP is so quiet? In English, there is a saying, those who laugh first may laugh last. 好戏还在后头.
Mr. President, your time is up.